Poor Kenny. He dies in like every episode. After spontaneously combusting, being cooked in a microwave, sawn in half, the last thing he needs is a one-way ticket to the big house. But that's exactly where this kid's gonna go as punishment for all of the insane, messed up crimes he's committed throughout the entire series. Cartman is always making his friends do crazy, dangerous stuff for him, so it was nice to see him on the receiving end of the other boys' nonsense for a change. Kenny and his buddies are at South Park's 14th annual Cow Days Festival, and after Cartman wastes all their money on ridiculous rides like the Chamber of Farts and the Line Ride, they make him go on the mechanical bull. When he returns to them with just a few minor injuries, though, the boys want to put him in a real bull riding contest. But he'll need to practice first, otherwise he's just gonna end up getting crushed like a fat little M&M.
Hey, that's better. Hold on, Cartman. Yes, seriously, yes, say something. Yes, stop this crazy thing.
Cartman is taken to the hospital with head trauma and ends up believing that he's a Vietnamese called Ming Lee. The doctor tells the boys that their little friend needs plenty of rest, but they don't care and get him straight to the rodeo for the big competition. And when Ming Lee has finished throwing herself at every adult male she sees, she does surprisingly well in the ring and isn't even fazed by Kenny getting impaled by the bull's horns.
Oh my god, they killed Kenny! You bastards!
Lee wins the contest and all the boys waste her prize money on rigged ball games, but she doesn't even crap as she gets to spend the night getting spanked for hours by Leonardo DiCaprio. When Cartman finally snaps back to reality the next day, he thinks everything that happened was just a bad dream until...
Bye, Ming Lee. Thanks again.
Kenny put Cartman in a dangerous bull riding contest despite knowing he was injured and totally not there mentally. That will definitely get him thrown in the slammer for at least 120 days, even if Ming Lee did turn out to be an awesome bull rider. Excluding fiery explosions
but he's also a
and natural
juvenile, so
disasters,
you gotta take
the
that into
absolute
account
worst
too.
thing that could happen to your house is for some little punks to toilet paper it, and Kenny is in fact that punk. The boys are in detention after they spent art class building and erecting clay. Angry at Mrs. Strable for punishing them for just being creative, they decide to toilet paper her house that very night.
Here's what I think of your art class, you goddamn... Whoa, so cool!
That's just
Hey, you wanted art, you got it. Kenny received 2 weeks of detention for toilet papering his art teacher's home, but that's nothing compared to spending half a year in jail for vandalism. At least Mrs. Strable will let the boys stick to their thing from now on, though. No, she won't. Getting jail time for downloading music seems pretty dumb, but it is in fact an actual crime, one that Kenny got caught red-handed for. Kenny, Kyle, and Stan are all members of the band Moop. Well, there was Cartman, but he got kicked out for wanting to play Christian rock. He vows to start his own band and bets Kyle $10 that he will be the first to get a platinum album. While Eric is out recruiting Butters and Tolkien to join his band, Moop illegally download music from the internet to use as inspiration for their next record. And I guess that makes them all evil as terrorists, because the FBI immediately busts in and arrests them all.
Freeze, FBI! Down on the ground! Down on the ground! Hands! Let me see those hands!
After the FBI shows them the life-ruining damage illegal downloading causes to filthy rich musicians, Moop goes on strike to protest the hideous crime. Meanwhile, Cartman and his band are topping the Christian rock charts despite sounding like three cats getting dragged up the highway. Their success earns them a Myrrh album, meaning Cartman has officially lost the bet. Cue temper tantrum.
Jesus! Eric, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't say the F word about Jesus.
Yeah, you're gonna hurt the band.
Cares, Token! I can never beat Kyle now! I'll say it again! Jesus!
While Moop didn't exactly earn any music awards, Kenny might have earned himself a whole year in prison for piracy, plus he'd be getting whacked with a $100,000 fine. He could sell everything in his house 3 times over and never make enough to cover that. Being from a poor family, Kenny is willing to do anything for money. And whatever you're thinking, trust me, it's way more disgusting. The boys are dissecting a manatee in biology class, and Kenny gets paid $41 to eat the spleen. He vomits the raw flesh back up at break, and the boys pay him money to eat it again. Realizing that Kenny will do literally anything for money, they pay him to carry out even more degrading and disgusting stunts, like eating dog poop in front of Jesus. And camping out in a porta potty for 4 days.
Jumped into a porta potty at a construction site and stayed there for 4 days.
Whoa.
I'm so glad I ate before this recording. Kenny's shameless acts attract so much attention that he gets handed his own reality TV show, aptly titled The Crazy Kenny Show, and the sick viewers tune in to watch him do horrible stuff like wash his hair in battery acid and give his own grandpa a sensual massage. Howard Stern becomes fascinated by the boy and invites him to appear on his show with Tom Green and Johnny Knoxville. The host wonders who the biggest would be out of the three of them, and Kenny, having not a single smidgen of self-respect left, says that he'll perform on Stern for $10, and unfortunately, he was not lying.
You guys, it's Kenny. He's been arrested for New York. For what? For giving Howard Stern a Hummer. Ooh, what's a Hummer? I don't know. All I know is Kenny's in jail for at least 3 months.
Shockingly, even South Park isn't messed up enough to animate that. Kenny was jailed for 3 months in the show, but in real life, the kid would be thrown to the clink for 1 year. But at least he got arrested before performing his most disgusting act ever, crawling inside a fat bus driver's uterus and staying there for 6 hours. Yeah. Kenny loves Halloween and always puts 100% effort into his costumes, but it's too bad he ruined his big night by committing a felony. After getting scarred by a bunch of 5th graders, the boys want to scare the pants off the bullies on Halloween night, but since they don't know any good ghost stories, the only thing they can do is dig up Kyle's dead grandma.
It's almost open. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa, dude. Oh my God.
Imagine sucking so badly at parenting that your kid is able to sneak away in the middle of the night and dig up a rotting corpse. South Park needs Super Nanny. Oh wait, she's already in the asylum after meeting Cartman. The boys leave Kyle's grandma's scary corpse at the docks, but it gets stolen by a hungry dog who vomits her back up at the end of the episode. That dog's immune system is stronger than Jimmy that time he took steroids. Kenny would be sentenced to 18 months in jail for unlawfully exhuming Kyle's grandma's grave, but if I was Kenny, I'd be more worried about the old lady coming back to haunt me. Some dangers of drones include property damage and serious injury, and Kenny here can demonstrate another con of the technology for you. Cartman is bored, so he takes Butters' dad's drone without permission, and that night he, Butters, and Kenny use the device to do something very unethical and concerning.
Craig's mom is taking off her clothes.
Let me see.
Check it out, you guys. She's taking up. Oh my God, we've got full bush.
The 3 creeps then start to record the naked woman, but abort the mission once Craig's dad spots the drone spying on his wife. And the next day, Cartman covers their tracks by posting Craig's mom's nudes on the internet for the whole world to see. Eric exposed Laura on the World Wide Web, so Kenny can't be punished for that. He can, however, be sentenced to 2 years for voyeurism. Remember cheesing? It was all the rage in South Park. Word gets around that cat pee gets you high, and so South Park soon develops a serious problem with cheesing, forcing the authorities to ban cats altogether. Cartman saves a bunch of cats by hiding them in his attic like Anne Frank, but when Kenny, the cheesing addict, discovers this secret, he doesn't think twice about breaking into Eric's house to get as high as a kite.
Kitty, get out of here.
So is cheesing like an even grosser alternative to toad licking? Either way, this wouldn't be the lowest Kenny has stooped in life. Yeah, we'll get to that. Breaking into Cartman's house just to get high off a cat pee might be the weirdest case of trespassing ever, and even though it is a petty crime, the penalty is still 3 years, so incredibly high, especially for a child. But obviously, nothing could be ever higher than Kenny. It's important to stand up for what you believe in, unless it's something horrible, like exposing your wiener. Don't do that, please. Gerald Broflovsky, otherwise known as SkankHunt42, has been on the prowl again, and the sick bastard has even caused a Danish Olympic athlete to commit. At South Park Elementary, the girls have all turned against the boys, believing one of them must be the troll. And the next day, Kyle suggests they all show their support for the girls at their big volleyball game, but Butters is tired of getting blamed for something he didn't do just because he's a boy. And so, when the national anthem gets played at the match, he whips out his wiener to show he's not ashamed of his gender. I thought he was doing a Nazi salute there for a moment. Other boys follow him in protest, and if you look way in the back, you'll see that Kenny participated in this gross display as well.
Oh no.
The grotesque act goes unpunished by PC Principal, who's too afraid of getting called out for body shaming, and the lack of punishment leads to Butters forming a literal wieners out group that protests half naked in the hallway.
We are not going to feel ashamed for who we are. We are not going to feel guilt for the way we were born. Wieners out. Wieners out. Don't let anyone tell you you're somehow less because you're a boy. Don't let anyone tell you to not think.
As the group were vile enough to reveal their genitalia again at lunchtime, Kenny committed indecent exposure 3 different times in that episode. He'll be punished with a total of 3 years in jail, but the embarrassment will be lifelong when he finally realizes how stupid he was. Little Mr. McCormick's shocking, outrageous crimes have only earned him 12 years and 4 months in prison so far. But can it get worse than that? Of course it can! This is South Park. What is the worst lie you ever told as a kid? I'm sure it wasn't as insane as lying about being by your own parents. Yeah, Kenny has absolutely no morals. When Kyle's mom and dad won't let him attend a Raging Pussies concert, he files a false police report accusing his parents of. With Gerald and Sheila locked up for a disgusting crime they did not commit, Kyle enjoys the concert and throws an adult-free party afterwards.
Dude, having no parents is awesome! I'm gonna say my parents too! Hey, yeah! We should all say our parents dead!
All the kids in town, including Kenny, get their parents falsely arrested, and South Park eventually gets taken over by kids. And with no grown-ups around, it only takes 10 days for the town to descend into total chaos, with the kids forming their own towns, Smiley Town and Treasure Cove, and sacrificing each other every night to a god they call the Provider. Now, I didn't know if Kenny was sacrificed or just died in yet another freak accident, but his skeletal remains are seen lying on the ground when Butters is about to become the next chosen one.
I'm here for you, Provider, but take me!
Is that what happened to the adults here? You lied to the police and said you? My God, they were your parents!
Turns out the kids have been so busy killing themselves off that they've completely forgotten about their poor parents who are currently rotting in jail trying to purge their sick urges that they don't even have. Mark and Linda, 2 adults that arrived in town after their car broke down, remind the kids of how better off they were with grown-ups around. Visiting their folks, the kids give the couple permission to call the cops and get their innocent parents freed. While everything worked out in the end, it doesn't make lying about okay, especially when the accused are your own parents. Filing a false police report is classified as public mischief, and the maximum penalty is 5 years in jail, but I guess Kenny dying in the episode was karma for his crime enough. Kenny barely has enough food to eat at home, and so it wouldn't surprise me if he gobbled down some hardcore drugs just for extra calories or something, but where could a kid even find illegal drugs? Well, he could get abducted by aliens and taken to an outer space strip club.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Oh, yeah!
I kind of remember these
fuck
episodes.
yeah!
They were so funny.
Kenny!
Honestly, I was expecting Cartman to be the first kid to try cocaine, not gonna lie. Assuming alien cocaine is equal to the regular white stuff, Kenny has got himself another 2 years in the slammer, but we're gonna have to double that to 4, because after he snorted the cocaine, he went back to the aliens' hotel room and committed voyeurism by sneakily photographing the aliens having a threesome.
My Jagon. Yeah, now you suck on my Jagon. Oh, yeah! Stick your finger in my thresher. Oh, yeah, suck it. Suck that Jagon.
Dude, I have no idea what we're seeing right now, but I have a feeling it's really, really wrong.
Oh, yeah!
Maybe
There's
a
no
little
way he
bit.
didn't try and make a quick buck from that alien corn when he got back to Earth. Michael Jackson was mocked by a bunch of different shows during his life, but that one South Park episode probably hurt his feelings the most, if I were to guess. Kenny and his friends are riding their bikes and decide to check out who's brought the Donovans' old house. A boy named Blanket invites them into the arcade game-filled home when they get greeted by a strange man called Mr. Jefferson.
Cool, dude, I think maybe he's a burn victim or something.
Guys, this is my dad, Michael Jefferson.
Michael Jefferson, yes. Hey, you want to play with me? Come on, let's climb the tree. Come on, climb the tree, climb the tree. Have you been up my wishing tree?
One night, Mr. Jefferson arrives outside Stan's bedroom window dressed as Peter Pan, and Kyle soon gets furious about finding Jefferson's mistreated son crawling around alone in his backyard. The boys then have a slumber party with his 40-something-year-old man and even share the same bed. Stan is understandably disturbed by this, but the nightmare he has that night is even more disturbing, if you'd believe it.
Mr. Jefferson, I wish I could be around you all the time. You're awesome.
I think you're awesome too, Cartman.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
Yeah?
The next morning, Stan's parents are horrified to discover a grown man sharing their child's bed, and the creep leaves after paying the parents $100 to keep quiet. Sharon forbids the boys from seeing Mr. Jefferson again, to which Cartman tells her to suck his fat, hairy balls. The boys later see sad little Blanket looking out his window and invite him out to chop wood, but crazy Mr. Jefferson appears and wants to play.
Wee, look, he can fly.
Jesus Christ, dude! Ah! Stop, you lunatic!
I still can't believe that actually happened in real life. While Mr. Jefferson tries to stop his face from falling apart from all the plastic surgery, Stan, Kyle, and Kenny break into the mansion to kidnap Jefferson's neglected child. After kidnapping Blanket and leaving Kenny on his bed in disguise, the boys try to escape, but get caught by a terrifyingly disfigured Jefferson on their way out.
What are you doing with my blanket?
boys run back into Blanket's room, and Mr. Jefferson decides to grab Blanket for a little midnight playtime.
Wee, he can fly, he can fly!
Stop! Oh my god, he killed Kenny! You bastard!
Now we can add Michael Jackson to the long list of things that killed Kenny. The boys escape Mr. Jefferson's clutches, and the police arrive to arrest him for child. But when the guy promises to give all his wealth to the needy and raise Blanket as a normal kid, the police leave him alone since they were only interested in arresting him because he was a rich black man. Mr. Jackson, I mean Jefferson, got off easy, but Kenny is gonna get sentenced to 24 years in jail for kidnapping the King of Pop's son, and he has no chance whatsoever of his penniless folks bailing him out. Do you know what Kenny and Cartman both have in common? They both love NASCAR drivers. Cartman is in tears knowing he's too dang rich and smart to ever become a super cool NASCAR racer. You only live once, so he decides to chase his dreams, and after giving away all his money and killing his 2 brain cells with Vagisil, he's ready to become the worst racer in history.
Oh, my ass!
Guys, it wasn't his fault he drove the wrong way. It was the brain cell killing effects of the Vagisil. Cartman's idiotic, catastrophic accident naturally ends up on the news, making all NASCAR fans seem stupid by default. Pissed at Eric for tarnishing the reputation of something he cares about, Kenny arrives at the stadium with a sniper to kill the fricker at his next race. However, his gun gets confiscated by security, so he just leaps onto the track and tries to break Eric's window instead.
Sorry, dude, I'm winning this race! With the brake! Bye, Kenny!
Oh, Jesus, there's a little boy on the track!
After losing the race and almost killing everyone, Cartman accepts that NASCAR racing just isn't right for someone so intelligent and rich as he is. While Eric clearly has the IQ of a goldfish, it was kind of dumb for Kenny to jump out onto the tracks in the middle of a race and endanger himself and others. 120 days in prison for reckless endangerment is probably enough to ensure he never tries that again. And 48 years for attempted murder is certainly going to make him think twice about ever using a sniper on anyone. Kenny's family aren't well off, so it must be so disappointing for him to lose a tooth and find a penny under his pillow the next morning, if his parents can even afford that. But once he got involved with a sketchy business, it probably earned him more money in a night than his parents made in a year. Cartman has lost a tooth and gained $2 from the tooth fairy. Now he wants to combine everyone's teeth together to make even more money. As Stan and Kyle have already lost all their baby teeth, they try to take out Kenny's.
You guys, I can see Kenny's little pangling.
I wonder how high Kenny's pain tolerance is after all these seasons. Having no friends with missing teeth, the boys team up with professional tooth robbers and stay up past their bedtimes robbing a bunch of houses, but eventually get caught by the American Dental Association. The kids never went to prison in the show, but in real life, they could be sentenced to 12 years per burgled house. And since they were literally in league with experienced burglars, they could have robbed at least 100 kids of their tooth fairy money. That means Kenny could be spending 120 years in prison, not to mention he's probably earned himself a spot on the Tooth Fairy's hit list. While Kenny is usually the one who gets hurt, there have been several episodes where he really hurts someone else. Like that time he deliberately threw a fastball at his dad's junk to try and make him infertile.
I'll play catch with you later, son.
Oh, go ahead. We can make love afterwards.
All right. All right, here comes a pop fly. See if you can catch it. Good job. Now throw me one.
Oh!
Or when he got a bit too carried away playing Japanese warriors and threw a real ninja star right at Professor Chaos, aka Butters' eye. Kenny also kicked Cartman's butt for ruining the wild boob-filled trip he went on after inhaling cat pee.
Kenny, knock it off! What's wrong with you? Kenny! Dude, Kenny, calm down!
And when he returned to the magical breast world and found Kyle's dad there trying to steal his woman, he tried to beat the hell out of him. Don't worry, Gerald, this won't make you look like the biggest pervert in town. I'm sure lots of grown men go to the park and wrestle kids in their underwear. Assault carries a 32 maximum sentence, so that's 128 years little Kenny would be rotting in jail for. At least he's already used to the color orange. Kenny's mom is pregnant again, and he's not happy about there being another hungry mouth to feed.
You can't eat Kenny. We have to save food for the baby.
To avoid his family becoming more impoverished than it already is, he sets out to kill the unborn baby. He starts by tricking a pharmacist into selling his morning after abortion pills and mixes them all into a vodka for his mom. But Stuart ends up drinking the poison instead and comes down with the most horrific case of diarrhea known to mankind.
What's the matter?
Uh-oh.
Oh, God, I'm gonna crap my pants. Oh, God. Oh, my balls.
Kenny doesn't give up that easily and tries to kill his sibling again by taking Carol on a high-intensity roller coaster. However, nothing happens other than Stuart pooping himself once again. Having failed to indirectly cause a miscarriage, Kenny takes matters into his own hands and grabs a plunger to use on his terrified mother.
Kenny, what are you going to plunge?
Kenny, what the hell are you doing?
Kenny chases Carol out of the house and into a NAMBLA meeting, where Stuart ends up getting violently assaulted by the naked pedophiles.
Kenny, I've had enough of your shenanigans.
Ooh, one of the boys just came in.
I get What the? No, wait, no. Oh, no.
Leaves him with serious rectal injuries, and the ambulance rushes him to the hospital, running over Kenny on the way there, of course. In the end, Carol gives birth to a healthy baby son whom she names Kenny after he comes out wearing an identical parka. How would that work anyway? While abortions are legal, forced ones definitely aren't. Kenny could be charged with 3 counts of attempted murder of an unborn child, and if convicted, he'd be facing 144 years in prison. But he's dead now, so I guess the judge will just have to leave a strongly worded letter on his grave. It's the day before Halloween, but Kenny won't be able to trick or treat for his year's supply of food as he gets crushed to death by a falling spacecraft satellite thingy. The dead boy is taken to the morgue to be drained and filled with embalming fluid. However, the coroner's bottle of Worcestershire sauce I just nailed that. Sorry. I don't mean to interrupt the story here, but I saw that word upcoming in the script, and I was like, I know I'm gonna screw this up, but I didn't. Can I get a Worcestershire in the comments if you're proud? Oh my gosh, I did it again. Anyway, Kenny's a zombie now.
So then the necrophiliac says, if this ain't a cadaver, then I... Hey! Ah! Goddamn, that little
After leaving the morgue, zombie Kenny goes to the bus stop, and the boys just assume he's respawned once again. At school, the principal forces Eric to change out of his offensive costume and put on a ghost costume, which hilariously resembles the KKK more than Casper. The hell am I saying? Casper doesn't resemble... What? At the morgue, even more dead people have turned into zombies, but doctors simply brush everything off as pink eye, even though isn't exactly a symptom of the infection.
Ow! You bit my arm!
Despite being an actual zombie, Kenny loses the costume competition to Wendy, and at this point, the whole of South Park has already been invaded by zombies. A little pink eye epidemic won't stop the kids from trick-or-treating, though. As night falls, Kenny just can't stop trying to eat people.
Dude, Kenny!
Oh my God! Call 911! Call 911!
Nice going, Kenny. She was about to give us candy. Yeah, she had Sweetie Pops. You owe me a Sweetie Pop, asshole. Treat.
Hope you kids like chocolate peanut butter cream puffies. Oh! Get it off! Get it off me! Ah!
The other boys ditch him for costing them their candy and head to Chef's house, only to discover that the pink eye going around is really a zombie apocalypse. Oh! They go to the morgue to look for clues and find an empty bottle of Worcestershire sauce. Feckin' dang it! Worcestershire sauce by the embalming fluid, as well as Cartman's mom on the cover of Crack Whore Monthly. Chef goes to call the sauce's emergency hotline, but the zombies suddenly break in and turn him into one of them as well, but with way more style, might I add. Stan and Cartman butcher the Walking Dead with chainsaws while Kyle calls the hotline and learns that they need to kill the original zombie to turn the rest of the Brain Eaters back into mortal humans. Goodbye, Kenny.
Oh my God! I killed Kenny! You bastard!
Why did it take so long to saw him in half? What material is that parka made out of? The boys lay Kenny to rest, and even Cartman bursts into tears. After they go to find some more naughty pictures of Liane, Kenny responds, but gets crushed by a falling tombstone mere seconds later. How many mirrors did he have to break to get this much bad luck? While taking a bite out of people made Kenny a... There isn't actually a law specifically outlawing the consumption of human flesh, so we'll have to charge him with first-degree assault here. As he tried to feast on 5 people in the episode, that's a staggering 160 years we need to add to Kenny's sentence, and we can also add an extra year for knowingly spreading the zombie virus. Well, Kenny can officially say goodbye to his friends forever because this little criminal's overall sentence comes to a colossal 649 years and 2 months behind bars. Does a character who's done more messed up stuff than him even exist? Well, click the screen to find out.
Actually, there has been. I don't know if it'll show him. Let's look at Kyle. He's kind of funny. Or do we want to watch? Actually, I want to watch Cartman.